Ms. Tiffany Henderson, you're here accused of a third-degree felony hindering apprehension. This is a felony case. It is assigned to the 338th District Court. The judge in the 338th is Judge Ramona Franklin. Ramona Franklin is the judge. This is a warrant case, ma'am, meaning that another judge has already reviewed the facts and the circumstances of this case and found there is sufficient probable cause to hold you in the case. Are you familiar with the facts of the case, or would you like to hear a short summary of the warrant? Pardon me? Absolutely. Ms. Candidate.
Officers responded in reference to the murder of Sergeant Sullivan, who was run over by DeVorce Henderson, who fled a traffic stop. Through further investigation by officers, an address for DeVorce Henderson's mother, later identified as this defendant, was located in Houston. Officers responded to that location at 12:55 a.m. on December 11th. At approximately 1:10 a.m., this defendant arrived at her address along with her boyfriend, co-defendant Wheeler, in a red Toyota hatchback. Officers spoke with this defendant about her whereabouts. She stated that she got off work at 11 p.m. that night. She then went to pick up co-defendant Wheeler. They then went to her residence. While speaking with this defendant, she was shown a photograph of DeVorce Henderson. She denied knowing who he was. After further conversation, this defendant admitted that she was the biological mother of DeVorce Henderson. Officers continued to speak with this defendant and co-defendant Wheeler about where DeVorce Henderson was. They denied having any knowledge of where he was. Through further investigation, it was learned that DeVorce Henderson was taken to a hotel located in Houston the night of the incident. Surveillance video was obtained from that hotel, showed in the early morning. They had screenshots of surveillance footage that clearly showed DeVorce Henderson being dropped off at 12:30 a.m. The video further shows DeVorce Henderson being dropped off by this defendant and co-defendant Wheeler in the same red Toyota hatchback they arrived in at the residence. In that footage, this defendant is driving the motor vehicle, the co-defendant is in the front passenger seat, and DeVorce Henderson is in the back seat. Officers told this defendant that they were looking for her son because he killed an officer. When the news broke with this defendant's son, her son's name and photograph, this defendant started crying and wailing. This defendant was on the phone with DeVorce Henderson when the murder occurred, and he told her that he had just had an incident with a cop. This defendant knew where DeVorce Henderson was located, but never told officers.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. So, Ms. Henderson, those are the facts that another judge had already reviewed and found there's sufficient probable cause. We will now move on to proceed to the bail hearing. When you get to the 338th District Court, will you be asking for a court-appointed attorney? Are you a U.S. citizen? Do you consent to the services of the Assistant Public Defender here today, Ms. Carter, in your bail hearing? Thank you. Ms. Kennedy, your position on bail, please.
Your Honor, the state filed a motion requesting a $100,000 bond, citing that this defendant has many state jail and misdemeanor convictions, and by harboring and concealing her son from arrest, seriously placed law enforcement and the public in danger that another violent event would occur when he was found. Additionally, this defendant is currently out on bond for resisting arrest from October 3rd, 2019. She's also out on bond for injury to an elderly. However, that case has not been indicted yet. The state is against a pretrial release.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. Ms. Carter?
Judge, I'm going to ask for a $5,000 bond for the court to possibly consider Ms. Henderson for a PR bond. I do understand that Ms. Henderson is already out on bond for 2 other cases. I would like to point out to the court that she has no failures to appear within the past 2 years. Ms. Henderson has lived in the Harris County, Houston area all of her life. Right now, she does have 3 children, age ranging from 21 to 14. Right now, she is also working as a home health care provider. She's worked for there for about 9 months. Before that, she was working in a nursing home for about 5 years, and she does have transportation to get to court via either family or her own car. And I do not believe that she is a future danger, especially due to the fact that her son is right now being held on a $150,000 bond. And if I don't believe that at this point in time she'll be able to make that bond, especially if her bond is also $100,000. So I'm asking the court to consider her for a $5,000 bond and for the court to possibly consider her for a PR bond.
Thank you, Ms. Carter. I will note for the record that Ms. Henderson scored a 5.4, which is above average risk on her pretrial risk assessment. I have confirmed that Ms. Henderson does have a pending felony case correctly, that it hasn't been indicted. However, it is for a serious crime of violence. It's assigned to the 338 in addition to the misdemeanor case. Additionally, I believe according to the pretrial risk assessment, because you do have pending cases and you have had prior violent convictions and felony convictions, Ms. Carter, I do have to take into consideration the criminal history of the complainant and the risk to the community, as well as the facts and the nature of the offense. And so for those reasons, additionally, I believe that Ms. Henderson has some TDC convictions as well. So I'm going to set her bond. Ms. Henderson, I'm going to set your bond at $50,000. I will refer the matter of any pretrial bond consideration to the judge that you should be familiar with. That would be Judge Franklin in the 338, because that is where your other case is pending. So I will leave the matter of a pretrial release bond or any lower bond amounts to her. You can appeal my decisions directly to her when you get to her court.